my name is Maeve McCormick. I'm coming to you from Sligo Library on behalf of Work Matters. Today I'm talking to Padraig McGarry from ATU Sligo. Padraig is the head of the Department of Engineering and Technology, and he's going to be talking to us about craft apprenticeships. Padraig, you're very, very welcome.
Thank you, Maeve.
So, Padraig, ATU Sligo has a long tradition of craft apprenticeships going back to the 70s when it was originally formed. And at the moment there's three main areas. Can you tell us about those, please?
I can, yeah. There's three main craft apprenticeships that we deal with at ATU Sligo. Electricians, tool making and carpentry and joinery are the three areas that we focus on. Going back through the years at ATU Sligo, we have looked at other areas such as plumbing and a couple of other apprenticeships, but they're the three areas we concentrate on today.
Okay, and can you go through each of the areas then with us and just tell us what's involved in each area of apprenticeship?
Sure, yeah. So for electricians, we take it up at phase 4 and phase 6 for the apprentices. So they start off their apprenticeship with their company, then they go to the local ETBs for their phase 2, and they go back to their company for phase 3, and then they're with us for phase 4 and phase 6. So we take them through workshop practices, all elements of craft theory. They would learn various elements of PLC, automation, also some mathematics, communication skills. And these are all the modules contained in their 11-week blocks while they're with us at ATU Sligo.
Okay, and how many years then overall is the apprenticeship? You were saying that some of it is done with the ETB and some is done with ATU Sligo.
Yeah, the traditional craft apprenticeship is typically a 4-year programme. So they start off with their company and they will usually spend between 3 to 6 months, even a year, after they first register with their company. The company registers them with Solus. Then they get their first block release, which is called phase 2, where they go into the local ETB and they'll spend between 20 to 22 weeks on their first block release. After those 22 weeks and successful completion of exams, they then move back to their company, where they will spend typically 6 months to maybe a little under a year before they go back then, and they come into us in the ATU. That's for phase 4, and they will spend 11 weeks with us. Then it's back to their company for phase 5 for typically another 6 months, and they come back to us in the institute again for phase 6. Phase 6 is completed after 11 weeks. After a successful exam, they go back to their company for phase 7, and then they are a qualified tradesperson. They get their craft cert.
Okay, so it would be maybe over the final 2 years of their apprenticeship then that they would come from all over the country to ATU Sligo for their blocks?
Typically, yeah. Over the last few years, we've been taking them from different demographics, Dublin, the Midlands, Northwest, but there's a lot of institutes now who are also running the electrical courses at phase 4 and phase 6. So we do seem to get more local apprentices, which is good, but there are from multiple regions they come to us, yes.
So that's lots of detail about the electrician apprenticeships. Can you tell us about the other 2 areas of craft apprenticeships available as well?
Yeah, so we also run the toolmaking apprenticeship and the carpentry and joinery apprenticeship. Toolmaking is the skill of really precision engineering and precision tool design for industry, typically in the designing of moulds and the manufacture of small plastic or metal parts for the moulding industry. Again, it follows the typical model of the craft apprenticeship, where it's a seven-phase craft apprenticeship where you spend, after you're sponsored by your company, you come into the ETB after phase 1 is complete with your company for up to 22 weeks. Then you're back to your company again into the institute for phase 4 and for phase 6, a seven-phase model. And typically then carpentry and joinery, typical apprenticeship, the craft model, you're learning the skills of woodcraft, joining of wood materials, cutting of wood materials, for the manufacture of typically roof design, stairs design, windows, doors, second fix, all the typical crafts that a carpenter needs. And again, that follows the typical model of a craft apprenticeship, 7 phases, 4 phases on the job and 3 phases going through the institutes, the first one in the ETB and the other 2 with the ATUs.
So big variety of career opportunities there available under those 3 craft apprenticeship areas, Padraig. How do people apply? Is it through the CAO, or do they have to contact an employer, or how does it work?
Yeah, there's a number of options, and the CAO is now actually one of them, which is great. When students are completing their Leaving Cert and doing their CAO applications, there is now a link on that CAO application form where they can apply to look at different apprenticeship options for them. Typically, the typical route has been, I suppose, to look online. There are, multiple websites advertising apprenticeships. Some of the bigger companies will put out ads in local newspapers or national newspapers. You'll see that from time to time throughout the year, and then I suppose the more traditional route will be to local employers would maybe advertise, or maybe not all advertise, and that's a case of maybe knocking on some doors, asking the questions of your local electrical company or your local tool and design company. Are they taking on apprentices annually? Maybe typing up a cover letter with your CV, dropping it in there. I'm interested in doing an apprenticeship. Do you take on apprentices? Are you interested? And that's typically how a lot of our apprentices would get on board with companies to knock on doors. So that still is a model that's open to a lot of people. But these newer options with the CAO and links online like apprentices, apprenticeship.ie, these are great options as well.
So lots of different ways of finding yourself an apprenticeship, either looking locally or nationally or online, and we'll give the details of all that later.
Correct, yeah.
So when someone has completed an apprenticeship, what are the career prospects open to them? Yeah,
well, I suppose in the the trades that we run at ATU Sligo, it really is a good time to be a qualified electrician, carpenter joiner or toolmaker, because there are more jobs than there are people at the moment. It's in the media at the moment about how many craft people it's going to take to meet the demands of the housing developments that the government has in plan, and they're talking about numbers up to 50,000 extra trade people will be needed in the future to meet these demands. So it is a good time to be qualified in a trade. There are any amount of jobs out there at the moment, well-paid jobs, and it's a really good time to be qualified now.
Okay, so final question then, Padraig. If people are looking for more information, can you point them in the direction of, say, particular websites that will give them more information?
Yeah, certainly. There's loads of information. The apprenticeship plan 21 to 25 is there. It has loads of information about the plans for apprenticeship in the future. Apprenticeship.ie is a great website there that will tell you all about how the different stages of apprenticeships work. And even contacting the local institutes, the local ATUs, any of the technological universities or ETBs can provide information on apprenticeship and the different options that are out there. And I suppose just local media as well. There's a lot in the media at the moment with information regarding apprenticeships and the options that it gives to students and the likes nowadays. Okay, so lots of opportunities there and information available. Padraig, thank you very, very much for joining us today. Thank you, Maeve. Thank you too for joining us, and all the information that Padraig has given is available at the end of this interview, including all the website links. My name is Maeve McCormick for Sligo Library. Thank you again.